Stars fans. Welcome to another episode of the mighty Melbourne Stars podcast. We're reviewing the game against the Strikers. We've fallen 0-3. This is not going to be a, a good review. I'm joined by my co-host as always.
Yep, g'day guys. Jacob here, Melbourne Stars News. Yeah, as Heath said, not a positive review today. Obviously, falling to 0-3 puts us in a bit of a tough position. We'll recover, hopefully, and look to the bright side. But anyway, we'll get into this review. I'll hand back over to you, Heath.
Okay, thank you. What was the your immediate thoughts after the game? As we've got plenty of them.
Oh, I was very frustrated. I did watch most of the game. Obviously, I was out for a little bit, but it was very disappointing, just frustrating. I don't know. That was the main emotion that I kind of felt. The main reason being we could have got that job done pretty easily. 166 runs to win in Adelaide should have been doable for a team like us with a lot of batting depth. I know Glenn Maxwell was mic'd up, and the commentators asked him, would you have taken that if I offered you 166 at the start of the game? He said, yeah, probably. It's pretty chaseable, I think, at Adelaide Oval. But I was just frustrated that we couldn't get the chase done. Obviously, a lot of wickets fell in wrong times. Ben Duckett went for a duck. Maxwell and Stoinis looked promising, and then kind of not threw their wickets away, but got unlucky, I guess you could say, and made some incorrect decisions. Rogers, once again, is not in form, and Cartwright also did not perform. So they were my kind of thoughts after the game.
What was your main positives and takeaways from the game in a positive sense? Because mine was Sam Harper. His 48. He looked very promising.
Yep. No, Harper the past two games has been really impressive. Obviously, 46 against the Brisbane Heat and 47 or 48 against the Strikers last night. So, look, yeah, that was obviously a positive. I think he was a bit slow at times tonight. Sorry, last night. Getting those runs, but I mean, at the end of the day, he got the runs, and he was the main reason how we even had a chance. So obviously Harper was a positive overall. I think our bowling was good at times. Adam Milne took a couple nice wickets along with Peter Siddle, who bowled quite well and very economically. He bowled all 4 overs, I believe, and only conceded like less than 20 runs or around 21 runs, which is pretty good for the old man. So I'm pleased with that. Um, that was about it for the positives. I mean, Hilton Cartwright looked really good out in the field. He stopped a lot of boundaries, and we definitely had more energy in the field. I mean, Ben Duckett took an incredible catch for a little guy. So there was some positives from the first innings from a bowling and fielding point of view. And I think the only positive with the bat was kind of Sam Harper. Stoinis looked really good off the bat at the start of the second innings, but couldn't continue for a long enough period of time.
Yeah, that's the thing with us. Like we seem to like get off to a good start with Stoinis. He can get into the 20s, but can't always seem to push on to the 50s and 60s and 70s and 80s where we would like him to get to. I don't know if that's just a mentality thing or if that's just a I don't give a shit attitude, or I just don't know what it is. It's
Yeah. And
don't
that
know.
happened with Maxi as well. He came in and hit 2 sixes in a row, and I was like, okay, he's on here. Here we go. This will be a nice win. Maxi's back. The boys are back, but then obviously went out LBW very next ball, so that was very disappointing. And yeah, same thing kind of happened with Stoinis. Went for the slog when he was going well and just got bowled. One thing I did notice, spin is not our thing. We cannot handle spin. Maxwell and Stoinis both went out to spin bowlers. Ben Duckett went out to a spin bowler. So did Tom Rogers. And last game, Kuhneman and Swepson against the Brisbane Heat dominated us as well. We couldn't score runs off Swepson, and Kuhneman took some nice wickets. So what I've noticed is we are shit against spin, and I don't know how to fix that. I'm not a cricketer, but that's just something I've noticed over the past week.
Obviously, we've got a few days until we take on the Sixers. What do we need to change up in order to get our first win? We need to change very quickly as it's a shortened shortened tournament, and we need to we need everything to go right for us to make finals.
Yep. Every game counts now, especially as we kind of enter that midway point of the season. Not that we're there just yet, but we are 3 games down already. We played a lot in the first week. I think a lot of things need to change. One thing I was pleased about that they did change last game was the batting order. They finally listened to me and dropped Tom Rogers down the order. Still didn't work, but anyway, I was glad to see that he wasn't opening, and I do like Ben Duckett opening with Sam Harper because when we posted the final XI, it actually had Ben Duckett coming in at number 5, and I thought that was stupid, but it's good to see that the order was actually changed around. I also liked seeing Stoinis come in earlier. He wasn't opening, but I think at that number 3 spot suited him quite well. He's not used to playing there, but I mean, he came in early, obviously, in the first over and got into his work and looked good. So I think we should keep it that way. Webster is the only kind of question mark as to whether he should slot in somewhere different. But I mean, where do you put him now? Like, you've got your openers set with Harper and Duckett. You've also got Maxwell and Stoinis in those kind of 3 and 4 spots, preferably. And then you also got to find a spot for Cartwright. So I'm a bit lost as to where he comes in. But I think that's the batting order is something that probably needs to still be changed. That's our main change. From a bowling point of view, we're obviously going to have Usama Mir come in. That's going to be another change. And it's going to be positive because he's been bowling incredibly well overseas, taking a lot of wickets and racking up some incredible figures. So that's going to be a change. We'll see Doug Warren as our spinner. He'll step out of the squad. Then we also need a replacement for Adam Milne, probably, which will likely be hopefully a Joel Parris or a Mark Stecty. If not, then Brody Couch. But there's some of the changes I think will happen.
Yeah, so we'll need to make 3 changes. People on the live stream were asking, like, do we drop Rogers completely? And I said, I said, absolutely. He hasn't been performing well, but I also was like, yeah, who else do you put in for Rogers? If you know what I mean, you
That's
lose.
my question. I think Rogers should be dropped, but the thing about the Melbourne Stars is we don't have a lot of kind of players to come in that are actually solid performers. Our kind of 12th man is always kind of John Miller, who's not a performer, same as Cam Callaway and all those guys. It's all those guys. It's not like we've got a Chris Lynn or a Darcy Short sitting on the bench like the strikers do at times, you know. So I don't know with Tom Rogers. I think we kind of need to use him in a way, but he needs to kind of come in at that number 6 spot. Um, After Hilton Cartwright and after Bo Webster, he should not be coming in before him. But yeah, he should be dropped, but we don't really have a solid batter to replace him.
Yeah, and the only highlight from the first innings was Duckett's catching up. Like I was
Yeah, it was a
on
nice catch.
right. I was like, oh, let's go! Like, oh, absolutely. It was it was off short as Darcy Short. Like he creamed it, and then Duckett scored, and like I'm gonna jump in and just get it. I'm like, oh, you're amazing. And then when he when he batted, I'm like, come on, hit some runs, and then he gets out first ball. I'm like, are you kidding me?
Yeah, I was very excited to see Ben Duckett. Obviously over the past 24 hours, join the team and be amongst the team. It was great that he debuted, and yeah, had a really good fielding performance. Duckett for a little man, but yeah, obviously disappointing with the bat. Probably got a little bit unlucky. Kind of hit the ball and it chopped onto his stumps. Oh, sorry, no, it didn't. That was the other guy. He got LBW, didn't he?
Yeah, you got
Yeah,
LBW.
LBW. Um, yeah, look, I think it was a bit unlucky for him, obviously going first ball, but I mean, it is what it is. Are you excited to see him hopefully perform a bit better, throughout the remainder of the season?
Yeah, definitely. I'm very excited for Duckett to perform. It was his first game.
Yeah.
Not going to rage quit because it was his first game and everything. He'll get better as the season goes on, and hopefully we can see him get some make some runs, which would be good for us because we need someone to make runs. We're not particularly good with the bat. We just don't know how to win.
Yeah, no, that's true. I don't know. what it is, but it seems our batting just can't be right. We have probably one of the not strongest, but the most depth in our batting. We had last night. We had 8 guys that could hit the ball that were listed as they could hit the ball. Sam Harper, Ben Duckett, Marcus Stoinis, Glenn Maxwell, Hilton Cartwright, Tom Rogers, Bo Webster, um, Tom Curran. We had like 8 guys who were all rounders or batters, and we still couldn't even score more than 150 runs on a nice Adelaide Oval batting pitch, which is pretty depressing.
Yeah, thoughts on Tom Curran's bowling performance? He was absolutely negative, in my opinion.
Yeah, so he had a good first game, and then these past 2 games, it's been very negative. He just hasn't been able to bowl well for us in those power surge and kind of death overs, which is really a letdown. Obviously didn't get going with the bat either. I don't know. He had a very promising first game, and we know he can play well. But yeah, it was disappointing to see him kind of concede a lot of runs to the strikers and also not produce any runs with the bat. And also Doug Warren was kind of not lost us the game, but one of his overs went for 17 runs. He bowled a no ball and it got smacked for 6, so that was 7 runs, and then another 6 next ball, then a boundary, and then a wide, and then that was just a shocking over, which could have cost us the game in a way. It was like the 18th or 19th over, and yeah, they kind of went from 140 to 160 from that over, which was disappointing to say the least. But yeah, our bowling wasn't great. Siddle and Milne were probably the only kind of half positives.
Yeah. Do you think Doug Warren should be dropped next game?
Yeah,
With his,
I think he will, no doubt, because the Sam Mir will come in as a spin bowler. I know Adam Milne was the replacement for Mir, but I still think we only need kind of one main spinner if we're going to use Maxi as well. We don't need 3 spinners. Um, so we'll probably take Doug Warren out, and also Hamish McKenzie when he's back from injury. He probably won't get a game until Usama Mir leaves. So he'll come in, and yeah, like I said, we'll hopefully replace Milne with a paceman.
do we have any fan questions that need to be answered?
No, not so far.
Okay.
Haven't really received much. I know I've had a lot of negative kind of comments over the past 12 hours from the game last night. Everyone is disappointed. A lot of people saying we need to sack coaches, sack the managers. What are your thoughts on that? Do you think it's time for a change in kind of the admin point of view?
Yeah, I reckon it is time for change because we're not, we haven't done anything for the past 2 seasons since our grand final appearances. We've
Yeah,
been gone from bad to worse, and I reckon we just need a new coach. I like Peter Moore, but we need someone who's younger. I reckon.
yeah, and we spoke about that before. I know it's only Peter Moore's second season with us, and we should probably give him a bit more time, but possibly some list management selectors need to, step away because it just hasn't been working for the past 4 seasons now. We made obviously 2 grand finals in a row, and that was fantastic. But then we finished fifth, sixth, seventh, and sixth the last year. So hoping to turn things around. Yeah, I don't really have much more to say. What do you think, Heath?
No, it was just terrible. We need to, if we honestly, if we don't get, if we're not the rest of us, we unfortunately I don't see us winning a game at all. Like probably worse
I
than.
know, and a lot of people have been talking about finals. I'm like, let's just try and focus on winning a game first. But I have done some research, and I looked back to the BBL 13 ladder. It took me a while to find it because everyone's deleted it off their websites. But I found it on a Ladbrokes racing app, kind of sports betting, and it showed the BBL 13 ladder, and it showed the top 5 who obviously make finals. So the Hobart Hurricanes finished 5th with only 4 wins, which means they lost 6 games. And also someone else, I can't remember exactly who, I think it was the Strikers, finished 4th with like 6 wins and 4 losses. So look, we're only 3 down, 3 losses down, which obviously isn't good. But if we win kind of 5 games and drop 2 games in the next 7, we can still make finals. If we win 6 games and drop one, we can definitely play finals. If we win all seven, we're probably in a top three spot. Because clubs do lose games. It's just we've lost all of ours early. So there is still plenty of hope. We have to win. If we drop one, we're already in panic stations.
Yeah,
We're definitely in panic stations. But if we drop one more, it's probably about enough. We have to kind of start winning majority of our games to have a shot at finishing in the top five.
yeah, definitely. It's good with the research. We're just I don't know. It's
It was
terrible.
just
Like,
embarrassing. It was just really disappointing, frustrating, and embarrassing. All the comment sections are just same old Stars. It sucks being a Stars fan, and just a lot of hate and negativity around the group, which isn't
yeah,
good. We have a very solid list on paper, and we just can't perform.
yeah. I don't know what it is, but I'm gonna put it down to mentality. At the end of the day, like
Yeah,
we thrown away at the worst possible times, not making smart decisions with the bat. I'm looking at a specific player who tried to do a Maxwell's reverse sweep, and
yeah,
I'm like,
in Perth as well.
yeah, lucky he didn't get out on that. Then that's that's not good as well. I know we've had a tough run. We just need to manage this tough run because we've got the Sixers, and then I think that's our tough start out of the way, and then if
Yeah,
they have,
it is the toughest start out of the way. We play the four first games were the teams that we played that made finals, so they were the tougher games. But we still have to play the Heat one more time, which isn't going to be nice. But then we play the Renegades twice, where we need to win. We also play the Hobart Hurricanes in the last game, which is a must. We also play the Sydney Thunder, which hopefully is going to be a win. You never know with some of these teams. It's been a
yeah,
bit hard to tell recently. The Renegades have had two kind of shitty games that
yeah,
they ended up winning in Geelong. But to be fair, they only needed 74 runs and they still fell 5 wickets down. So hopefully we can beat the Renegades.
we should be able to should be able to beat the Renegades. Should be
Yeah,
able to gains and the Thunder as the
yep.
Thunder off at the time.
Yeah, we're gonna have to pay close attention to the other games now and kind of work out who we want to win and who we want to lose for us to have the best shot at securing kind of the top five spot. I think it's obviously we want the Hurricanes to lose tonight. The Scorchers are already kind of up there, so they're going to be up there, no doubt. So we want the Hurricanes to lose as much as they can to avoid us sitting at that bottom spot. Then we also want the Thunder to lose a few, so they drop down, and then when teams drop down below us, we slowly climb up, and before you know it, we're only one spot away from kind of a top five, which will be handy.
Yeah, but the problem is we've put ourselves in this position that we have to rely on other teams losing around us, and we have to win, which is not the position we want to
Yeah,
be in.
no, it's definitely not the position we want to be in, and we were in it last season. And yeah, it's been a really disappointing week for us and all the Stars fans. Such a long off season of us, getting excited and doing all this behind the scenes stuff just for us to come out and just perform shit. So a lot needs to change, but I guess that sums up the game three review, guys, against the Adelaide Strikers in Adelaide. It was an entertaining game for the most part, but the Stars fell short, obviously, in the end by about 20 odd runs, 16 to be exact. So, yeah, we move on to Boxing Day. It's going to be a great game in Sydney. Apparently sold out already, some sections at the SCG. It's going to be a blockbuster. It's going to be nice weather. So make sure you guys tune in for that game. That'll be the return of the Big Bash after the small Christmas break. So it'll be good. And let's hope we can start kind of our post-Christmas New Year period with a win.
Yeah, no, I like that. Yeah, let's get around the boys. Also, get around the YouTube channel, get around the podcast accounts and our account too. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share, all that. Turn your notification bells. Plug on the podcast. Make sure to tune in. We will be live streaming for the Sixers game, and we'll be getting predictions as well before the game. So stay tuned for that, and
Yeah,
hopefully. Jacob said, we get our year. I think it's very tough, but hey, we somehow managed to play well against the Sixers, which is good for us.
We do. We got a win against them last year, so let's hope we can do it again.
Yeah, definitely. This is the mighty Melbourne Stars signing off, and can't wait to see you guys against the Sixers. Go
Yep.
Stars!
Stars.
What you doing? You just wanna sunset.